Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I'm Jill.
Kim.
We're One Harmonic Hall.
Welcome back. It's been a little while since we've done one of these like longer podcasts.
Yeah, videos. We've been doing audio podcasts for quite a while now, but yeah, our video ones kind of fell off the cliff for a little while because of
We did a class.
class. So we were doing video, and yeah, it was an awesome class.
It really was.
Mhm.
We did 12 full weeks
Yeah.
of lots of information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it was super fun.
It was.
We're helping people understand their intuition and listening to their body a little bit better and
Yeah.
understanding the signs that are coming through.
Yeah. It was really awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
12 weeks,
yes.
Zoom class every week, and
Daily.
daily
Yes.
practices that were created daily.
Yep.
So they were very
Very intuitive based, the entire thing.
Mhm.
Like in that moment, what was happening in people's lives and what was the skill, the resource they needed at that moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. So you never know if we're going to do that again in the future.
Right. Yeah.
We had really great positive responses from this class.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meaning you don't know if we'll do that same class again, or we'll do other stuff, but yeah, that particular one, we may repurpose the recordings and add in some stuff where there's some live support to it or something. Who knows what we'll do with it, but yeah, it's like it was so. I don't know. I find myself sometimes missing it.
Yes.
Have you had that? I
Yep.
was
I'm like,
going to ask you.
the Tuesdays, because we took last week off, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do today?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird.
Exactly. I know. It was like kind of like a snow day.
Yeah.
You know, we're glad to have it, but you also, well, it's different. It's a snow day,
Yeah.
you know, because from school you wanted to be away from school. With this, it was like a snow day. It's like, I mean, I love the snow day.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, that's what's going on here.
Uh-huh. And then the dailies, oh my goodness. I did not realize how much they impacted my life
Mm-hmm.
and helped me get through the day, basically. Just a nice little tool resource. Like one of them was
Oh,
literally
the daily practice, you mean the mini
Yes.
practice? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we were like, one day you just grab an oil and you smell and you say this affirmation. So simple, but yet it made a huge impact.
Right. Right. Yeah, I know. This got us thinking about, you know.
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not gonna stop.
Oh gosh, no. Yeah, but it's the being guided, the intuition, the where do we go next is it's a fun question. There's the daily podcast, which is an incredible message and is also like such an integral part of Monday to Friday, especially.
Yeah.
It's funny how the Friday one does often floats right through the whole weekend. This last one was really awesome. But there's in the daily messages though too, sometimes like this morning there was a very sweet practice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the thing is that you want things, anything in life to change, adjust, whatever, you know, it takes that practice, it takes that dedication.
Yeah, it does. And this is why we're here.
Yeah.
This helps us too. Holds us accountable, but then it gets you guys jump started too.
Yeah. It's what do I want to say? There's okay, how about this, Kim? A little bit of like there's been so much talk for a long time. I keep going the opposite way because we haven't done a video like this in a while. Okay. So much talk about how much things have changed. And then also how much they kind of happened. Okay?
Yes.
But energetically, how much things have changed. There's lots of different names for what's happening right now. To me, though, being very present each day is like the biggest change. Yeah. Like we used to be able to be distracted in the day, in his present day, distracted about what's going on or thinking and planning for the future. And we can still do that. But there's something that is really, I don't know if people have noticed this. That's why I want to bring it up. I mean, it's kind of subtle, but at the same time, it's also like really pushed us to be with what's going on in the day.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It does. It's like the past, present, future is all right here now.
Yeah.
It's like when you think of the past is actually happening currently right now. The future is actually happening right now. So it's literally everything is right now. But if you try to think that way or try to think that way, like past or future, if you try to put yourself in that energy, everything kind of is like chaotic.
Yeah, it very quickly like pulls you right back to here. Here's a very minor example I had. So I was looking this morning, I saw the calendar and I was like, wow, it's already June 17th, which is kind of also a bit of a judgment, right? And then also like a little bit of futurizing there because I'm looking to how fast June is going, a little bit of past and going, oh, those days, these weeks have gone so fast. And it instantly came. It wasn't that it got chaotic, but instantly I just felt everything just kind of come around and push me, if you will, like come back right now. What's happening right now? That doesn't matter that time seems to have gone fast this month or not, or it doesn't matter between now and the end. Like it was so weird. It was such a quick moment. I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. And I just had this moment. I was like, you know what? Come right back to today.
Yes.
Here I am today. And then I was like, oh, we're going to record a video podcast, which is exciting. I got some other things going on today and I instantly just could feel things shift in me.
Yeah.
And it was like that, the judgment about how fast things were going, how much I wanted to slow down. That's what I call like the judgment around it. The emotion I was reacting to was all old habit. And those things used to have traction. They used to have feet. And this time and if I would have stuck with it, it would have like spun things into, like you said, a chaotic kind of energy.
Yep. I heard this is where anxiety comes for a lot of people, is that they get themselves wound up, like they struggle to be here in the present moment. They're thinking of like, oh, I have to be here. Like, okay, so I have to like almost rush to get this done because I know I have to get here at this time. So you're not even here. You're already thinking here. So then when this comes, you're already now like, what's the next thing ahead? So it's like you're ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
And the body's like, hey, hello. Like, so you get this anxiety and then people they panic because now they have anxiety and it's just this vicious cycle. And all they have to do is basically reel themselves back in.
Yeah.
And just be
right where you are in that moment. And I hope you're getting I hope people who are seeing this, listening to this are getting that. It was real gentle guidance. It was like, come back here. But the other one too, Kim, that I've really, this one was wild. Time has taken on a completely different vibration, a different feel. Like what I used to think and believe and try to accomplish in a day, now I'll sit and I'll consider that. And there's just something in me where I'm just like, there is just no way. I can't. And I have I have bigger chunks of time. There's not like I have lack of time. I have a lot of time. It's just like this concept. I don't know what's going on in my mind, my thoughts, my beliefs around time, and the actual experience around time has changed for me. Have you had anything happen with time?
Oh, yes. I am going to go a little bit conspiracy type stuff here for a sec. Doesn't mean I believe it. I'm just saying what I've heard. I've actually heard a lot of things I say on TikTok, the reels. Between those two, there's been a lot of recent videos, that have been pulled up, people talking about time and how they're either missing time or time goes by too fast, like everything to do with time. And I sit back and I literally just pay attention. I just listen. I'm trying not to judge. There's a TikTok thing where people are doing this practice where they sit down with their parents and these kids and everybody says, I listen and we listen and we don't judge. and say you're the mom. And I'd be like, when I was 16, I went in your room and I stole this. And the mom's like, and then we're like, we listen and we don't judge.
So they're turning the rule back on their parents.
Oh my goodness. So that just randomly popped up in my head.
I like that.
I sat and I laugh at some of these things, but I was like, holy cow, the amount of judging I did in my entire life, and I still do. Don't get me wrong, we're human.
Right.
It pulls us away from that moment where, say, that child in that moment, either they couldn't talk to their parent, they're fearful or whatever, and all of a sudden now they're like, I want to tell you, but so it's weird. I'm like asking in my head, my human head, I'm asking, not human heads. Yeah. I'm my human brain. I was going to say ego, and they're like, no, it's not even ego.
I love watching her have these conversations with herself.
I'm asking, where am I going? Why am I saying this? And they're like, because at that moment in time, they couldn't speak it. They couldn't express it, whatever.
Right.
And now they're coming back and they're saying, okay, hey, we're going back to that time, but we're not judging it anymore. So that's kind of like the whole time type stuff. It's like the past was in the past and the future is in the future.
Yeah.
Like you can only do what you have right now in this moment.
Right. Yeah. That's that time thing. Yeah. Past, future. It's wild. It's kind of hard to put these things into words. Yep. You know, one way that I know I can put it into words is that with the time thing, I have, like, at the end of a day, I've noticed I have this feeling that I haven't done enough, which I think is just an old judgment, an old programming that I was carrying with me. Where now in any given day, I'm actually doing in the moment as much as I can be doing in that moment.
Yep. And so you're honoring yourself in that moment.
I'm honoring myself in that moment. Yeah. And I catch myself when I start like spinning, like I need to do 8 things right now, and I'll actually stop. And I'm like, I can do one thing right now. Yep. And I'll do that thing. And then I'll do the next thing that I can do after that next. Yep. Or, you know, it's like I'm doing my best in that moment. And moment after moment after moment. Yep. And so at the end of the day, I feel this, it's getting calmer, quieter. It's starting to go away. But it was pretty intensive for quite a while. This like judgment of you didn't do enough. You didn't criticism.
Yes. Yep.
You didn't do enough. You didn't do this. And then I was like, whoa, wait a second. Like this is me inside my head going, wait a second. And then I'd sit there and I'd like recap my day. Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm like at, 10:30 and I've already listed out, 10:30 a.m. And I'm like, all right, enough of this judging myself that I didn't, I don't even have to recap the whole day necessarily, but it's been really interesting with this difference in the way being present, being with time, understanding that, this expectation, kind of what's come to me is this expectation of us doing a gajillion things at once. Yes. Multitasking, doing lots of things, being super busy, being stressed out, calling all these things normal. Right. I feel like it's being deprogrammed in me, even though I'm not necessarily focused on that. It's just deprogramming on its own. Yes. That's why I wanted to bring this up today. Because I'm like, this is not me saying, my practices, they show up every day to my life. Yep. I show up for dailies. I show up for our conversations. Right. When we have a practice, I do the practice. So I'm, but I'm not like, oh, I have to do time now. I have to practice being present. Like those things just showing up. And then these other things are happening, beautifully happening. Which happened in the past, but it never happened to this degree. Yeah. Is that?
I agree. Yeah. As you're saying all this stuff, I have memories of nursing world and how the multitasking I did. Yeah. And my memory is when I would look at some other nurses and they were more, say, present in the moment. And they would sit there and like they're doing the charting. Or they're grabbing a medication and I'm trying to talk to them and they literally stop me and say, Kim, I am focusing on this. And in my head, I'd be like, man, like, well, I could do that and I could do this, I could do this, like all these things I want. Why can't they do that? Yeah. And now I look back and there was a couple incidences.
Oh gosh, you got it.
In this last week, where somebody was trying to talk to me and I was actually doing some nursing work. And I literally stopped them. I said, you know what? I can't do 2 things at once. I want to focus on this. So I get your proper, say, medication ready for you. So just hold up. I said, I will talk to you when I'm done with this. And in the past, I would have never done that.
You didn't even have to try, did you? It just like came up, spontaneously comes out. Yeah, it's like we're being so beautifully guided to what I call a more balanced, a more harmonious, a saner pace to our days.
Yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, so thank you.
Yeah, and what's been really kind of the twist in it all is that I know, like in that moment that you just described, like I know I still have the skill to do multiple things at once. Yeah, it's just like the switch was shut off. Yeah, years ago, I'm going to use this statement. One of my nieces, She said, I can't want to. I know I can. I just can't want to. Isn't that a great statement? And it just like, it's like, I can't want to is just spontaneously coming up. Kim's like, I can't want to. I only want to do one thing at once right now. I know I can do multiple things. I just can't want to.
Yeah. And, there was a little bit of judgment as I go back to that moment where I was like, wow, like, is my brain getting slower? Am I just not able to do what I used to do? So part of me is like, hey, there's something to do with age.
It's aging. It's yeah.
And then I just let it go. I look back. I really didn't give it any thought because I got pulled back to being in the moment. Like almost shut off the ego, shut off that side of the brain that like is that judgment side, that criticism side. It just got shut off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And said, no, get your job done. Like this, you agreed to this task at this moment.
Yes.
And I honored that.
Yeah. It's kind of like you too. And I look back, reflecting back on how things were, say, with anxiety or stress. I think some of that is what's really shifting. Okay. Like, if you're feeling anxiety in that moment because you're, being asked to do multiple things at once, I think we used to subscribe to the belief that it was normal to do multiple things at once, even when it caused stress and anxiety. And we just like powered through all of that. And now we've, as a collective consciousness of humanity, like we've moved into, wait a second, if this is feeling really stressful and anxiety here, maybe I just make some adjustment and just do this one thing. Oh, feel how calm that is.
And it was so simple.
Very simple, huh? Yeah. I
know. We want to still judge that simplicity. Oh, you've talked a lot about, oh my gosh, when we first started these.
Simplicity.
Yes. Oh,
I love simplicity.
Yes. Wow. And it's really that.
I'm not always that good at it. Sorry, Deb.
Well, are you judging yourself now?
No, it is true because I love simplicity so much when I get to it. But I have done what so many of us have done. Yeah. Multitask, anxiety, stress, go, make things really difficult. Don't really even know why I'm making them difficult. Yep. And then like whatever. But I have like a love affair with simplicity. It's like my life's goal.
Yep. And then
one of them.
Yes. She brings this up all the time to me.
Yeah.
So she's helping me understand it a whole lot better because I would have been that person had we not been doing this type of stuff, had we not been showing up for the mini daily podcasts. Yeah. Doing the classes, doing all the stuff, like just literally showing up for this.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Talk about, I look back on time. And the transformation I know I have made in my inner self, inner work has been huge. So I can only imagine if you were listening to this stuff on a daily basis,
right?
How much impact that you can have in your life too.
Yeah.
By showing up.
Yeah, just by showing up. And the mini cast, as we often call it, which is the daily, that's the morning short message, is roughly 3.5 to 10 minutes long. 10 minutes is considered a very long mini cast for us now.
Yes.
And we did that intentionally so that one, we could fit it into our days, Monday to Friday regularly. Yeah. And two, so that people would be able to tune in without having stress and anxiety to try and find the opportunity to listen. And when we're asking to listen, it's like really to listen. It's not, some people put a podcast on in the background. I have another podcast that I listen to, and it's one of those too. It's kind of like it's a commitment. Like you stop and you listen. Yep. If I try and listen to that one while I'm doing other multitask, I'm just not picking up the information. It's good background noise, but it's just background noise. I'm not actually like absorbing it. So that's why we changed we were doing the dailies. And we changed it to where it's mini. And those, it's kind of counterintuitive, but it's like the little commitment makes a huge difference.
Yes.
And that's the old style was you need to do a lot of work to get a big difference. It's like a lot of work, a lot of
A lot of time.
A lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of results. And now it's like this tiny little commitment has a big effect.
It does.
That's some of the stuff that's changed. And it's like people have been telling you about this change coming for so long, things were going to shift.
And they were expecting like this big bang.
Right. A big moment. And it's just very, very gently, very slowly happening.
Yep.
It's freaking awesome.
Another thing popping in my head here.
Yeah.
Again, don't know what video I've seen it from, if it was TikTok or Reels. I'm not quite for sure. Again, something on time. So people are using AI. So they're going to their phones and they're saying, hey, AI, blah, 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 blah. And they're asking stuff, which is kind of cool. Then AI gives them an answer. Doesn't mean it's truthful, but some of it's kind of interesting what AI comes back up with.
Yeah.
So, but one was asking AI recently about time. What day and month is it? What year is it? And it was very interesting how it came up with the initial time on Earth was actually, there was no time. There was no dates, there was no months, there were no years, nothing like that. Humans constructed time.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing on the clock, the date now, that June 17th, like those are just like basically made up.
Well, let's go real deep here, Kim, because everything's made up.
Yep. And I listened to this and I was like, there is truth to that. 100% there is truth.
Yeah.
So then it went into more of, well, based off of this Mayan calendar, this Gregorian calendar, blah, 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 there's really no specific date.
Yeah, because there's different calendars, there's different times, there's been time adjustments.
Yes.
That's because the Earth wobbles a little bit, right? So that's why we have to have a leap year when in our calculations every 4 years because of this wobble to make. So, we make it up. I'll share this. I think this is why people love vacations so much.
Yeah.
Right? Because they get into timelessness because they're not dictated by a calendar or time.
Yep.
And it's like, so yes, and these things that we've made up, I mean, they're helpful.
Yes.
They organize things, but also
when you're in that moment, though, there is no concept of time. We don't know when we're doing that, like we're in the present moment, like even right now, we're not paying attention to the clock. Like how many minutes do we have going on?
Right.
You're just here in your present. So you're literally losing the concept of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think we overdid it with time.
Yes.
And now we're just being asked to it's just like all sorts of things. Like we're in duality here on Earth, so it's good until it tips too far and then it can tip into it's not good. It's bad now or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And we did that with time. We took time so to the nth degree.
Yep.
And people's calendars were so packed full of so many things.
Yes.
And then we started to realize that, maybe slow those things down, maybe do a more realistic calendar or commitment or whatever. But yes, it is also, it's like it's wonderful to be in timelessness and to not be watching time, but it's also wonderful when I have an appointment, say with Kim, to know it's at 11 o'clock on whatever next Thursday. And so then we have an agreed upon time to
meet.
Yeah.
And be then present.
And be present. So it's helpful, but it should be a pointer, a guide, a support. It shouldn't be like this dictator.
Uh-huh.
This cruel dictator making you do 8 things in an hour.
Yeah.
I see that. Sometimes I catch myself looking at I had to do this, and I'll just be like, you know what? Again, old habit. I would have just done all of them. Now I look at it and I'm like, that is literally 6 hours worth of work, and you're wanting to get that done in the next 45. And this is not going to happen.
Yep.
Let's just have a more healthy relationship with.
Yes. Errors happen. Mistakes. They're not mistakes, but an error. I mean, they are, but they're not.
Okay. Exactly.
They happen when we're not present.
Yeah.
When we're putting ourselves ahead of time or in the past or whatever, you're not present in the moment.
Yes. And I'm going to talk about one thing that does really drive me crazy that takes people out of the moment is driving and using their phones. Absolutely. I years ago made a commitment to stop doing much of anything with my phone. I do a little bit, but not while I'm driving. I don't even really talk on the phone much while I drive it.
Yeah.
Just because. But anyway, by making that choice, I can spot people from so far away that I know that they're distracted. And it's just, the thing is that we distract ourselves like that a lot. And not just with phones and driving, but that's what causes the possibility for those accidents, for those
errors, mistakes,
mistakes that can cause, if you're just slightly not paying attention to something, and I'm not talking about driving, but just in life, the degree of the error can really correlate with how much you're paying attention or not, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's what we're bringing about here, is like this ability is, it's like this gift has been given to us to come back into this present. Here's a present for you. And be with what's happening right here, even if you don't love it.
Right. Oh,
I think it's just what we're being called to. To I was going to say do. I don't know if it's a do, a be. I'm not even sure what the word is. Kim, you got one?
No, because I always say just be.
Just
be.
It's kind of like experiencing life differently or something. It's subtle. It's beautiful.
So Tim McGraw's song is popping up in my head, where it was like "Live Like You're Dying."
No,
country song. Can't remember the name. Something about live like you're dying. And I'm like, that is totally true, because we there's nothing guaranteed in the world.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean you need to be foolish and spend all of your money and like literally jump off a bridge and do all this like crazy stuff.
Right.
It just means like, how are you showing up in that moment? How are you honoring yourself? Can you leave this world in that moment being like, yeah, I'm happy, like with my choices. Like I was there for this or that, or
Okay. That brings up a really good question, Kim. Happy. I think a lot of people over the years have confused happiness with being entertained.
Yeah, they have.
Right. So like, is this making me, if you ask yourself, this is making you happy, it's not, is it entertaining you or distracting you from something?
More your heart. Are you feeling your heart is like, basically the actions that you're putting out there, an intention that you're putting out there, is that the intention that you truly want to put out there? Is that how you want people to remember you by? Is that how you want to look down upon yourself and say like, wow, like, yeah, I was present. I was in the moment. I heard everything. I felt, I mean, it sounds really crazy, but I felt everything and I was there, and I can look back and I can be happy with that choice.
Right. I felt everything is very important. That's what I think a lot of people confuse happiness now with that entertainment, because they're actually not feeling what's happening in their life. They're distracting themselves, and
they really are.
And then they'll say, well, I'm happy when I'm, whatever, I'm traveling or I'm on vacation, then I'm happy. I think what we're saying is like being happy with.
It's not about somebody else entertaining you. It's not about sometimes it is about being in a place that does make you happy. So then you can like actually feel that again. If you felt like, oh, I don't remember the feeling, or I've lost that feeling. Sometimes it's great for me, like sometimes just taking a walk out in the woods or walking down by a river or something like that. You just feel like that rejuvenation comes back. You're like, wow, okay. Yep. This is what I'm going to bring. I'm going to take that, harness that energy, and I'm going to bring that with me. And where am I going to find that in my daily practice?
I think a lot of the, what do I want to say? A lot of the over the top happiness, a lot of the having to do a lot of things or be distracted to be happy are also falling away for people. They're finding that those things, the happiness they once got from it is even shorter now. It disappears faster and faster. Because I think things are so different that we're being really called to do that more simple, sweet thing right now, and we'll like build into what those bigger things are of happiness. We kind of don't even know what they are right now. That's how much things have changed. we think we know from the past, but then we try them and they're not working.
Yes.
Or they work, but they only work like it used to, like I could go on vacation and, kind of be happy from that for, I don't know, 5 days after I got home, 3 or whatever.
Yep.
And now it's like 3 hours you're home and it's gone.
It's like you need a vacation from your vacation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah. It's super quiet right now.
Yeah.
It's summer. But I know the weather's been different here this year, but it's super quiet. It's like people are very tired.
Yep.
From the busyness. That's the other thing I've noticed is the busy that used to, just be normal and people just go through it. And then summer was here and now summer is really busy. And people are like, oh gosh, I just need to sit down.
Yep.
I need to go for a walk, but not like this hit it hard walk or hit it hard hike, just a lollygag through nature and just soak it in.
We have a vacation planned, actually talking about vacations.
Yeah.
Next week. And I kind of pay attention to this stuff. You have a Minnesota group and you have a Florida group. Okay. We're all meeting together in Tennessee. And the Florida group, they're all like, let's plan this. Like they want to have like every single day that we're there completely packed full of stuff to do. And mind you, we're renting a nice Airbnb kind of out in the woods, and Minnesotans, we're all like, we just want to go there and chill out at this house and like look over at the land. Like that to us looks like beauty. That to us is like interesting, fun. And you have these Floridians like, we need to go this place because the place we're going is has a lot of touristy type things going on. So they're like, well, we gotta, because we're there, we gotta hit this, we gotta hit this. And I'm just like, no, that's like a lot of people. That's chaos. That's anxiety, with all the hustle and bustle, like you gotta get here, you gotta get here. Well, okay, let's do this. And then at this time of the day, then we have to get here. And there's no time in between just to sit and be present because you're going from one thing to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we'll schedule a couple of things to do for fun. But we all up here, the concept of time has completely changed.
Yeah.
And the Florida people, we do this every single year. We go to different places.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's fun to see how they actually change in their life. When up here, I want to feel a little bit more relaxed. Down there, they're constantly on the go all the time. That's their lifestyle. When they come up by us, they're wanting to go, and we're sitting there like, And then they sit and they're like, huh. And they realize how nice it is sometimes just to sit and just be.
Yeah.
And then they get almost too relaxed.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we should go. And they're like, yeah, no. So they almost forgot what it was like to be in that moment.
Yeah.
And then we will get too relaxed. We're like, okay, now, like, come on, let's get up and do something. We're in this area. Like, we got to enjoy it.
Right.
So
you want to find the balance between the two, right?
Yep. But it's very interesting talking about time right now.
Yeah.
And then having this plan for next week.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that revolve around time with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized how much energy and how much intention is put to that instead of the experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's the experience.
Yes.
Truly what it is then is it's the experience of life.
Yep.
Not the experience of time, not the experience of your judgment, not the experience of reliving memories.
No.
Not the experience of stressing ourselves out or, not the experience of being distracted or having more than someone else.
Right.
You can do all of those things. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just truly like,
what is that experience? Does it feel good? Does it make your heart feel well?
Right. That's that present moment thing where it's like, if this was it, genuinely, like if you knew 4 hours from now you were done,
right,
with your earth walk done, would you be thrilled with that experience that you chose?
Yeah. Currently, I would say yes. That's me.
Yeah. I'm very too. I'm very happy and content with, beyond content. It's more than that. It's there's definitely a deep happiness about the moment to moment choices that I'm making. also the moment to moment awareness, even when I'm doing something that I'm not thrilled about.
Yeah.
I'm not beating myself up for it. I'm just noticing it. Yeah. And then just real light touch, like, I'd like that to change. A super like easy example. The other morning I was getting ready, doing something in the kitchen, morning time. And I felt I'm almost getting dizzy. It's really not good dizzy. Like I just want to lay down.
Yeah.
But I felt the old habit of instantly all the things ticking in my head. Got to do this, 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 got to do this. I felt it start.
Yeah.
And I felt a visceral instant response in my body, and it wasn't fun, right?
Yep.
Right away I felt this and I was like, okay, stop. Shoulders went back down and I was like, hey, number one, I do not have to do all of those 8 things today. Those are the 8 things for this week.
Yeah.
And my mind was going to push them all into one day.
Yep.
And I was so like happy just about noticing that. Like that was, and it's interesting because it's also really subtle and really quiet is the happiness. It's not this over the top. It's just like you just sit there and you're just soaked and you're like, yeah, it feels so amazing to just be so present with. The only way I know how to languages is to be so present with life.
Yeah.
That's what we mean, I think, by experience. Yeah. We're experiencing our life. We're experiencing life like authentically, genuinely. Yeah. If you find that, flying around the world, good on you. If you find it, sitting and being still, it's so we're also not judging. Like if you're busy and you like that makes you truly happy.
Yep.
Good on you. Do give sitting still an opportunity so you have the contrast between the two, because then you'll be clear on if it really is bringing you happiness. Right?
Yeah. And I feel like you said, things are just happening right now without kind of necessarily trying.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that you're kind of getting shoved to sit down, or I don't want to say the word forced, but yeah, in a way, kind of getting forced to just be, take advantage. Because you're getting pushed into the energies of the world that we're going into. And it's actually really beautiful. It's not meant to be feared at all.
Yeah. It's a really quiet, calm, beautiful, supportive energy. Yeah. But it may definitely ping fear in people because it's so new. It's unknown. Yeah. It's really, we don't have something in our memory to reach back and resonate with and go, oh, I remember this. I know what this is like. That's how new it is. We're literally like, I've had a lot of being called to not do things, which is really unusual. I love to not do things, but I also love to do things.
Yes.
And so when I'll start doing these things and it's not working, I've had to set them down, and I could feel like almost like panic or anxiety wanting to start. I don't want to be in that because I know what it'll bring, and I'm smart enough to get that now.
Yeah.
But it still would bring it up. And I just I had to find peace with just being, not being busy all the time. Or even if I was sitting it was weird. This was wild. Even if I was being still, I would find comfort in having that list of things tick in my head, knowing I got this, it was a weird form of being busy while being still.
Yes.
Yeah, which is cool as long as you're not bringing all sorts of any additional levels to it. If you're being with it, it's cool. If you're bringing in, I should be doing more right now, then it starts to, and I feel like people right now, because it's because it's so unknown. I feel like there's people who are being called to be more still with things, but are also kind of simultaneously ticking all the things they need to do and beating themselves up in a way for it. Like I should be doing more. I should be, and it's because of that fear. It's because we are so unaccustomed to just being still without a ticking to-do list in our head, keeping us entertained or distracted. We just are being called to be. And it's so new that we're like,
It is. Yeah, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Should be doing this. I could be doing this. Like all the things. By the way, that's stored in the shoulders. Shoulders, kind of like the base of your bottom of your neck there, and shoulders, this whole area.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself holding your shoulders up, like you said, relax your shoulders.
Yep. Stop shoulding on yourself.
Yep. That's all right in here. So if you hold on to a lot of stuff in here, great tool to look at yourself and what do you should have What you should have been? Oh my goodness. Time. There was one thing I heard too recently on time was that there is actually no time. The only time is now. There's no, because really the concept of time is
made up.
Yep. So the only time you have is literally right now. That is it. So what are you going to do with your time?
Yeah, we are definitely, I think that's kind of where we started this too, is that there's this big shift of being present here now. Yes, you can do some reflecting on the past. Yes, you can do some planning for what needs to happen, but it's kind of like 90% is being here and maybe 10% looking to the past or the future.
Yeah.
Where I think it used to be almost the inverted, like we spent maybe 10% being present and 90% looking at the past, looking at the future, figuring out multiple things. We were very not present.
Yeah.
And it's really inverted. And that's what's so new. It's such a subtle but big shift.
Yes.
And it's so new that we're just still sitting with it going, I don't quite know how to do this. But yet we know we want to because it feels so good.
Yes.
It's so calm. It's so peaceful. It's playing with the unknown, I think, is what I'd say. It's like
it is
the unknown.
And I feel like as I'm sitting here and I'm tapping into people's concept of just being in the moment, the time, what I'm getting off of a lot of people, a lot of it, their belief is that they feel like they're not doing anything then.
Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, there's that judgment, like I should be doing something. Like, why am I just sitting here? Why am I just looking at this lake? Like, so if I go to a lake and visualize that, I feel like my kids are out swimming in the water, and I'm just sitting there. Like, man, I can't just sit here. I have to be doing something. So now I start, like, say, watching the people. So now I'm people watching. Now I'm counting how many there. Now I realize I start judging, like, this family, or why is that person wearing that? Like, oh, they probably shouldn't be wearing that. Then my mind gets myself out of being here.
You're distracted now.
Yep.
So now you're being still, but you've distracted yourself.
Yeah. I'm just sitting there and enjoying the sun on me and enjoying just looking at the water, how the water's flowing, or just watching my children play. It's very quick on how people's minds go out of the moment.
It's a mental health.
Yeah.
I was going to call it issue. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's just a mental health piece. Our minds have gotten overactive. Our minds took a bigger role than they were ever supposed to have in a like functional life. It's creating dysfunction. The mind is so overactive. It's created dysfunction. It's created dysfunction within our society. It's created dysfunction within our systems, sometimes within our families. Because the mind's just so busy. Like, okay, listening. You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Listening without judgment. I mean, true listening requires that you're not letting your mind distract you away.
Yeah.
And it's a very challenging skill in the West. We're not that great at listening because we are very busy in our minds.
And I can tell you, with you bringing that up right now, I can guarantee almost, we'll say a majority of the people that are listening to this in this moment, you're being called out right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you weren't listening. You got yourself distracted. I was like, "Ooh!" I heard that in my head. Really? And it's like, yeah, we're now calling out those people because now they're starting to get distracted. They're not hearing the message that came through. And so,
No, that was good.
Bring yourself back. Where'd you go?
But and going back to your visual of being at the beach. I mean, look at what's being missed.
Yes.
When we get distracted and we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful what was happening. Now, I don't know why that keeps coming to me. I don't know, for those of you, if you've traveled to a part of the world that would be considered, say, third world. I don't like that designation. They're not as wealthy, and I'm going to air quote wealthy because that's monetary wise.
Yeah.
You will find a joy and a happiness that is beyond any wealth of a first world nation.
Yep.
It's, if you've experienced it, it's kind of indescribable. You don't miss it. When you experience, you're like, wow.
Yes.
That's a wealth, that's a richness to life. That's what's being missed at the beach when we let our minds pull us away and distract us. Like, there's this beautiful moment right in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening when we're not listening. When we're talking with someone and 8 other things. And I get it. We live in a busy world. I get it. I do it a lot. And I catch myself doing it where I'm multiple things, not listening. And then I start to feel kind of bad because I wasn't listening. Like, don't feel bad. Don't judge. Just notice it.
Yes.
And set an intention to just continue to become more and more and more present. I think we're just going to get nudged that direction.
Yep.
So if you know someone who's like in a lot of chaos right now, more than likely they're very not present.
Have them.
Or if you're the one who's in a lot of chaos.
I see animals often in my face. Have them watch an animal. Just sit and look out the window and pick an animal. Pick a bird, a squirrel. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just watch them for a little bit. And they have the concept of time. They literally have like a one-track mind.
Do they have a concept of time, or do they have a concept of the present?
The present.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But not like they pay attention to the sun and all that, you know, that type of time.
Yes.
But, our time. They are pretty amazing at what they do. And they're constantly feeling the energies around what they're being present in the moment. So they can see all the, say, dangers that are potentially in their path. So we can still be very much aware of the things that may harm us when you're in the present moment. You don't have to think about the future, like, oh, if I go there, that might harm me. Well, no, like, you should be able to know it in the present moment. Like, you have that thought about that experience. Oh, doesn't feel good. Doesn't mean you need to wrap your head around it. It's more like the birds are going to be like, oh, I don't go that way. Okay, we're going to go this way. Like, animals don't really carry on a whole lot of judgment.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Right. And we definitely have a distinct part of our mind that allows us to do that judgment, that we can do so many more things in this world because of this difference between us and animals in our minds. But at the same time, it's our responsibility to also keep that part of our mind in balance.
Yes.
In harmony, right? So that, and I do that, to me, is kind of how
our responsibility.
It's our responsibility. Yeah. And our minds, like I said earlier, in our class, right? We had the 3 bodies.
Yes.
And this intellectual body, the mind piece, had gotten just too big. You're like, imagine seeing a bird sitting on a wire. Yeah. And on the bird's body is like a head 100 times its size of the body. And it's trying to hold it, and it's not going to work. It's going to fall to the ground. Yep. It was out of balance. And basically, we let our intellectual piece get so big. Yep. And then it even started to rule the body. The body was just like, I can't take this. Yep. Been storing these intellectual things, these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions that have been being generated. There's judgments, reactions. The body started breaking down. Yep. And that's why this very gentle nudge back into the present moment, back into this calming our minds, bringing some more peacefulness to the moment. Yeah. And catch your mind telling you need to do 8 things in the next 30 minutes, realize, nope. You're like masterful at that, Kim. You are always in conversation. And
I am, but this part doesn't really slow down. It's more people, like the present with somebody else.
Yeah.
Has definitely slowed down. Because in the past, nursing job, like your phone's going off, your pager's going out, whatever, somebody's you know somebody needs you over there and you're just trying to like finish something up right here, even though you're already in the next person's room thinking about all the stuff you have to do for that person. And then the next person down the road, like all the
Oh my God, I can just feel the anxiety going. It's just like, oh.
Yep. And now it's more somebody's talking to me and I'm like, "Ooh, hold up. It's very quickly where I get distracted very fast with other energies. Not so much this, it's more the external pieces that come in.
Yeah.
It's like, hold up, I'm focused. I have to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Whoop. Because otherwise I catch myself then making mistakes. And in the past, I would not have caught myself making those mistakes. I would have just kept going on. And then later on, I find those mistakes and then I would judge them.
So you're catching the mistakes like more real time.
Yes.
Present.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I think is another reason people don't want to be present.
Yeah.
Because they have to acknowledge their mistakes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And mistakes are actually too much judgment on mistakes.
Yes.
Let that shit go.
Yeah.
That's what came to me. It's like mistakes are mistakes. I mean, you know.
It's just knowing that, okay, I was not present. Okay, how do I work on them being present?
Exactly. That's what a mistake is. It's pointing us to. And when people are making really big mistakes that are causing, that didn't. So that's another thing. People would be like, "Oh, that big mistake just came out of the blue." It's you look at it almost always did not. Right. I'd like to say always did not. There was a buildup to it. A person, there was a lot going on, and it's not like, just let it point us back to being present.
Yep.
Wow. Cool.
I didn't. You know what? When we started this, I didn't know where we were going to go.
Nope. Didn't see that coming.
Nope. The timing of it all.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. I hope you picked up on listening to this, picked up on the sweetness of it, of the guidance, of the being that's around us, bringing us back into this present. Even if you have a mistake that occurs, that it's like, hey, how about adjust and do this? And it's not to be cruel, it's to be very kind and supportive and happy, calm, peaceful. Don't let anyone tell you stress and anxiety are normal. No, maybe momentarily they're going to come up. That's fine. But as far as it being like the tenor of your life or your day, like the vibration of your day, should not. Anxiety and stress is no.
It is not the normal.
No.
We forget what the normal is.
And that's, I think, what we're being called to.
Yep.
Present, being present, time. Happy.
Yes.
Authentic, genuine. On and on it goes. All right.
Love it.
Okay. I do too. So,
that was one of our easier ones.
Yeah.
And especially like I say it's easier, but the concept of it was actually can be very difficult in life.
Yeah.
It's one of the most challenging things to like just be in the present moment. But yet for us, it was like one of the simplest talks that we've ever done.
Yep. So interesting. Cool. All right. Well, tune into the daily mini cast and check out Kim's website for some of her awesome services. And we'll have class stuff probably coming up in the next couple months, I think.
Yeah. Summer, we're kind of taking a little break from classes, but yet the mini podcasts are still going to be there. We're going to be pumping these out here too. So keep listening because you never know what you're going to hear. And some messages might just flow right through and you're like, yeah, I know that concept. That's okay. Sometimes we need the reminder. Other times it's going to just hit you one day. You're like, whoa, that one went deep.
Yeah.
You needed to hear that. So you never know what you're going to hear.
Yeah.
What messages you'll receive by listening. Being present.
Exactly.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.